Good morning, guys. Welcome to the lecture on reductions. We were discussing about the Birch reduction reaction. So we will continue our discussion on Birch reduction. So we will continue our discussion on Birch reductions. I will give some problems for practice. A little extension to the yesterday's problems. So if we don't add alcohol, a co-solvent like tertiary butanol or methanol, ethanol or water, then reduction will continue further. The anion can be used for nucleophilic substitution. Anion can be used to reaction with another electrophile. So in this case, so we are not adding any alcohol or water. So the generated anion will be there itself. Here we have two functional groups and there are four different substituents. Among them, this is plus M, this is plus I, this is plus I. So these three are electron releasing groups. CO2H is electron withdrawing group. So this must undergo reduction. Of course, it should be minus only, CO2 minus only, but I'm writing the OH also. It's not a problem. Okay. So here we will have anion here because it is a withdrawing group, so anion can be stabilized here according to this 1 comma 4th carbon. So 1 2 3 4th carbon. So this is this will be there, okay, because we are not adding alcohol. If we have one more aromatic ring, then it is possible to reduce that also if we don't add alcohol. When we add alcohol, then sodium will be quenched. Okay, so and this anion also will be quenched. Now when we add some electrophile like alkylation or carbonyl compounds, so this this anion will react with this. And finally we will quench this reaction using ammonium chloride. So the product here is alkylation. So minus charge will attack on methyl. Iodide group will be a good leaving group. So it is an alkylation. So not only just reduction, we can also do alkylation if we want. This is the product. Yeah, take the notes. when we look at this molecule, so Birch reduction will reduce only available aromatic system, because these three substituents, these three are electron releasing groups, so they must be placed on the double bond. Now you try to attempt the product. Right. So because these three are electron releasing groups, they must be placed on the double bond if it is possible. See, when we have a double bond like this, then it is possible to place all the electron releasing groups on the alkenes. So we can have a double bond like this. And yesterday I did tell you about the isomerization of double bonds under acidic conditions, right? If we have strong acidic conditions, or if we have uh, mild acidic conditions, it is possible to isomerize the double bond. In a similar fashion, under strong basic conditions, it is not possible under mild basic conditions, but under strong basic conditions, it is possible to isomerize the double bonds here. So that means it is a non-conjugated diene, we can make it conjugated diene. So which double bond will undergo isomerization here? We have two double bonds. One is OMe substituted, one is a ring fusion double bond. So which one will undergo a preferential uh, isomerization? I'll give you one hint. This double bond, it is tetra substituted, so it is more stable. This is tri substituted, this is less stable. So according to the stability, this is less stable compared to this. So this is the bond which will undergo isomerization. Now we will see some more examples on Birch reductions. So these two are electron releasing groups, so they must be placed on the double bond. Here they are 1, 3 related, so it is not possible for us to accommodate both of the substituents on a single double bond. So alternatively, what we can do, we can place them on two different double bonds. Then we can extend this products. For example, since it is a alkene, we can do ozonolysis reaction under mild reduction conditions, that means for aldehydes and ketones. So here we have two different double bonds. Of course, both are tri-substituted, but one is plus M substituent, one is plus I substituent. Ozonolysis is an electrophilic reaction, so the ozone reacts more preferentially with a more electron-rich double bond. So here it is just a plus I group, whereas OMe is a plus M group. So ozonolysis will occur here. And this side, so we will break this double bond. So we will add a carbonyl this side, carbonyl this side. So it means we can rewrite the product like this. This double bond, around this double bond, the stereochemistry is Z only. Okay. Then this side 1, 2. So 1, 2, and the second carbon, it undergoing ozonolysis. So it is OMe. This side also 1, 2, and the second carbon, yes, when you look at the total number of carbons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So total number of carbons are 6. Then it is fine. So one side we have an ester, other side we have an aldehyde. Okay, because it is monosubstituted carbon, it will get aldehyde, and it is having OMe substituent, so we will get ester. In a similar fashion, when we look at the next example, how we can extend the Birch reduction products in different ways. Now I'll take an example of naphthalene. Yeah, the two rings are similar rings, so we can reduce any one of the ring. There is no selectivity here. Then for example, if we are reducing the left side ring, okay, so it will undergo reduction like this. This can be continued. You know, other side we have another aromatic ring, so we can continue the reduction, and when we do continue this, the product will be this one. We have 3 alkene groups, and when we want to reduce it with hydrogen and palladium and carbon, yeah, these are surface reactions where the reagent will preferentially approach the molecule from less sterically crowded surface, or the alkene, which is less sterically crowded, will undergo easy reduction compared to the alkene which is more substituted. So here we have 3 alkenes. One is disubstituted, this is also disubstituted, whereas this fellow it is tetrasubstituted. So hydrogen and palladium and carbon reduction will only reduce the disubstituted. You know, as I said earlier, it should be selective uptake of hydrogen. So when we supply only the amount of hydrogen required to reduce only these two double bonds, then it is possible for us to reduce only these two double bonds. So the product will be this one. Even this can be further extended under ozonolysis condition because it is an alkene. So ozonolysis will generate a 2 carbonyl. So we will break this double bond here. So we will add 2 carbonyls. So 1 carbonyl here, 1 carbonyl here. When we have a carbonyl, we can still extend this for aldol condensation time. So when we react this, when we treat this fellow dicarbonyl with potassium hydroxide in methanol, what is the product? It is an aldol condensation. You just try this product. I'll give it after some time. You try to write this product. I will also give this. So here the product is aldol condensation. So anion generates on the alpha position to carbonyl. So for example, if it is generating anion here, and this will condense with this carbonyl. When we look at the ring size, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sorry, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 member. So it is a 5-membered and 7-membered ring system where the carbonyl will be in the 7-membered ring, and it will undergo dehydration also because it is giving a conjugated product. So this is the product here. Okay, this is how we need to uh, explore the reactions further. Okay, it is not just the single step reactions. We must learn multiple steps. Then only we will be better at attempting CSIR. Now I will give some more example. You just predict where the Birch reduction will takes place. If it is anthracene, naphthalene, of course, any ring, it is possible to have Birch reduction, whereas in anthracene, it is a different condition, right? So you write the product here. Which ring will undergo reduction? And similarly, phenanthrene. Naphthalene also we can differentiate the Birch reduction rings based on the substituents. So that means according to electron releasing, electron withdrawing, or more electron withdrawing, less electron withdrawing, or more electron releasing, less electron releasing, something of this kind. When you write the products, you please give the products in the group itself, okay, so that I can evaluate it and whether you are practicing it in a proper direction or not. So those things will be evaluated and I can give further suggestions also, okay. So write the products, then take a photo and upload it in the group. In the case of anthracene, the middle ring is less aromatic. So the middle ring is the one which will preferentially undergo reactions like aromatic electrophilic substitution or the Birch reduction. So the middle ring will undergo reduction. Similarly, in phenanthrene also, the middle ring is less aromatic. So the middle ring will undergo Birch reduction. Even it is the same condition when we talk about aromatic electrophilic substitution. Similarly, the substituted naphthalenes, the Birch reduction is an electron transfer reduction. When we are talking about electron transfer, a molecule with less electron density can easily accept an electron. But if it is electron rich, it is difficult for that to accept an electron. So when we look at the different rings in terms of Birch reduction, then the ring which is having less electron density, that means the ring which is having electron withdrawing substituents, that will preferentially undergo reduction. So the less electron density ring will preferentially undergo reduction. Okay, if you have two donating groups, then what we will do? We will reduce the ring which is less electron donating. For example, if there are two different groups like plus I and plus M, then we will choose plus I group. So here it is an electron withdrawing group, it is an electron releasing group. So naphthalene, the substituted naphthalene preferentially undergoes reduction where the electron withdrawing groups are present. Yeah, please take a snapshot. I'll change this page. Okay. I'll just give 4 more examples for Birch reduction. When we do Birch reduction on alpha naphthol or 1-naphthol, which ring will undergo Birch reduction? As I said earlier, it should be electron poor ring. So you can write the products, right? What I will discuss is when we have an aromatic ring as well as a double bond, an isolated double bond, then under Birch reduction conditions, which functional group will preferentially undergo reduction? Whether the aromatic ring will undergo reduction or the conjugated double bond will undergo reduction or an isolated double bond will undergo reduction. When it comes to metal ammonia reductions, then dienes or alkynes can be easily reduced. Dienes or alkynes can be easily reduced compared to aromatic rings. So here the preferential double bond which is undergoing reduction is the conjugated double bond. It is the conjugated double bond. Here the system is aromatic system, so we cannot migrate the double bond. Otherwise, in a simple 1,3 butadiene, one of the double bond will undergo reduction and that other double bond will undergo isomerization. So here it is not possible to isomerize it, so I am not writing the isomerization. And this double bond will not undergo reduction. It is an isolated double bond. And in the last example, I would like to discuss about the deprotection of benzyl ethers. We have used hydrogen and palladium and carbon to deprotect this, right? So that we are hydrogenolysis. So that's what it is called, hydrogenolysis. Addition of hydrogen by breaking a sigma bond. So that is what is called hydrogenolysis. A similar reaction can be expected under Birch reduction conditions. So when we add sodium in liquid ammonia, this preferentially reduces aromatic system, right? This cannot be reduced, so it preferentially reduces aromatic systems. So the benzylic group is the one which will undergo reduction. So again we will get alcohol, but the byproduct is not the toluene, okay? Because the aromatic system will undergo reduction. Aromatic system will undergo reduction and it will deprotect. So it is an important reaction when we have a double bond and benzyl ether, H2 and palladium and carbon, will reduce both of them, right? It will reduce the benzylic ether as well as double bond. Whereas sodium in liquid ammonia will preferentially reduce the benzylic ether, but it cannot reduce the isolated double bonds. So we will have a selectivity here. Yeah, please take the notes. Next reaction is Clemmensen reduction. What is Clemmensen reduction? The reduction of a carbonyl, either aldehyde or ketone, to a completely saturated carbon. Reduction of a carbonyl, aldehyde or ketone to a completely saturated carbon and using zinc amalgam and concentrated HCl. So it is a high, it is a strong acidic condition, and we will do this reaction at very high temperatures. So we will also do reflux here. So conversion of a carbonyl to a completely saturated carbon using zinc amalgam and concentrated HCl under reflux conditions, high temperatures, is called Clemmensen reduction. It is a three-phase reduction. It is a three-phase reduction. The zinc amalgam is a metal, solid phase. Solvents and reactants, these are liquid phase. HCl is a gas, so it is a vapor phase. So that means the reaction is a three-phase reaction. and also the mechanism is uncertain. Mechanism is uncertain. That means there is no clear-cut mechanism for Clemmensen reduction, but a general mechanism, most prompt or most appropriate mechanism will be given for this, but nobody knows what is the exact. Okay, so I'll give the mechanism here. This is only useful for a reduction of aldehydes and ketones. Remember, under acidic conditions, protonation on carbonyl is possible. So H, so the double bond will also migrate towards oxygen. So we will be generating a carbocation here. Zinc metal is an electropositive metal, so immediately it releases 2 electrons. So zinc plus 2 is more stable. So the positive carbon, when it takes single electron, it becomes neutral. When it takes 2 electrons, it becomes negatively charged. So the positively charged carbocation is now converted to a negatively charged carbanion when we add zinc metal. Okay, so Zn2 plus. So this, yeah, here we have used only H plus, Cl minus will be there. So all together, it will be converted to zinc chloride. So there will be a bond formation between carbonyl carbon and metal. Then under same acidic conditions, it is possible to protonate this alcohol on dehydration. It is possible to protonate this alcohol and simultaneously it will undergo dehydration. So when we heat this, when we heat it, it will undergo dehydration. So OH2 will be leaving. The product here is again a carbocation and ZnCl. Now this carbocation is again converted to a zinc chloride. So that means zinc will convert this carbocation to carbanion, and again a bond formation takes place between metal and carbon. So what we will get is we will form 2 carbon zinc bonds. Carbon zinc bond. So when we add water, finally when we add water, metal takes OH, so zinc hydroxide, it will generally it will be converted to zinc hydroxide. Hydrogen will be added to carbon. So the carbon takes hydrogen and the zinc will be converted to zinc hydroxide. Of course, other chlorine will also be hydrolyzed under similar conditions. So this will be converted to zinc dihydroxide. Okay, so it is a byproduct. We are not worried about it. Yeah, please take the mechanism. So under acidic conditions, protonation of carbonyl will generate a carbocation. This carbocation will be converted to carbanion using zinc. So zinc is an electropositive element where it is more stable in Zn plus 2 state. So it easily donates 2 electrons. It easily releases 2 electrons. So the carbocation will be converted to carbanion